Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sonic Comic Chaos. I'm your host, Silver01, and joining me as always is my co-host, Ian Waffles. Ian, say hi.
Hello.
Now, before we get into the episode, I need to follow up on something from last episode, something we talked about, something vastly more important than Sonic could ever be.
Oh, no.
Now, this is a true story. I was out today at my local Farm and Fleet. Is Farm and Fleet a nationwide thing, or is that just a thing where I live? Ian, do you have Farm and Fleets where you live?
Never heard of it.
Well, I was at my local Farm and Fleet, right? And I go to the candy section.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I find? But peanut butter fucking Snickers!
Is that a rarity?
Yes! Ian, do you not remember the whole thing from last episode?
I don't remember half the things I do when I talk about Sonic. It's all at Blaze with the hog, you know?
Dude, I went on a whole tirade about peanut butter Snickers, now I can never find them. And now here they are. I spoke shit into reality. I am a god!
That's amazing. The ancient walkers heard you.
They did. But, so anyway, how's your week going?
My week's going pretty good. I get to be here talking to my friend about awful Sonic comics. How about you?
Yeah, they're pretty bad. But hey, we're not quite there yet. We first have to return to our world-famous segment, Ian Ace Read Your Comments. And we have a very special Ian Ace Read Your Comments this week that I like to call 3 really nice people and 1 colossal moron.
Oh, no.
So,
my favorite show.
Yeah. So let's start with the nice ones, though. This is one, Ian, you and I both already replied to this. I already heard this. But you know what? This person was really nice, and they said a really nice thing, so I want to shout them out on the show. So, from the Bombers. Man, I love you two so much. I absolutely adore the dynamic between you two. Always love tuning into these podcasts and hearing you both bounce off each other. I lose my shit whenever Ian gets all condescending and passive-aggressive, and hearing Ace laugh and react to his antics is always great. I really hope you guys keep making shit for a long time, be it on this franchise or otherwise. Thanks, man. Like, we love making stuff, so we don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
No, thank you very much. And it takes a really long time to write the scripts for these podcasts, and I think Ace performs really, really well. Reacting to all my really witty nonsense. So I'll try to throw in some more references going forward. Embrace my inner Sonic frontiers, and we'll see where that goes.
Well, yeah, maybe bring back Whoa at some point.
Whoa!
That's... God damn it! I asked for that. I don't know why I was going.
It still surprised you.
Well, because I didn't think you were gonna. I thought you would let me finish my sentence, at least.
No.
It's so stupid.
Next
it's
comment.
Not funny. Anyway, from Mr. EME again. I don't know if this is the ad that's showing the ads. I'm sorry if this isn't your actual screen name. They said, "Hey man, I just wanted to tell you that you and Ian inspired me to start a channel for Archie Sonic content. Also, I really enjoy the series and hope you go to the end of the whole saga."
That's
so
awesome.
I did check out his channel. You guys should too. I didn't watch much of it, and his content is in Spanish, but thankfully there are English subtitles, so you can read that, or if you speak Spanish, hey, you can watch it without subtitles. But either way, really nice comment. Thank you, man. And the last nice one I want to say is from a Bowser Breaker 2515. On the Tommy Trilogy episode, I left a pinned comment just explaining where the show had been, how I had been busy with work, apologizing and saying that we were going to try and start uploading more frequently. And they just said, I have no problem with waiting. It's worth it. So thank you for that. I don't know if I agree with you, but it's nice to hear. But then, Ian, this guy or girl or they or them, I don't know. But regardless, so this was, I'm not going to tell you what video this was even on. I don't know if you've seen this comment, but I hope you haven't, because I want you to have to guess which video this was on. Okay, now this is just a matter of question. What Sonic media do you like? Because you seem to be hating on every Sonic media. Is it because controversy equals money?
Was it on the Sonic Frontiers one where you were really, really nice about it?
No, it was on Battle for Angel Island.
The one where we're just like, this is awesome,
right?
The whole time.
But I guess we started with 25 years later on that episode where we were kind of like, this sucks. But like, even that one, I think we were nicer than we had been on previous 25. I don't know. But also, Ian, like, I don't think we've ever told the audience that we record this on the opposite sides of our mansion that we've bought with all our Sonic Comic Chaos money.
It's true.
So, that's
I mean, you have like a lot of subscribers, so that know, it
we
also
actually
gotta pay for your solid gold toilet seat where you shit out all your opinions.
Ouch.
Are you the hater, Ian? Did you write that comment?
We actually did break 3,000. I never acknowledged it on the show, so thanks everyone. Glad we did that. But regardless, oh, thanks, man. Before we get into the comic, I just want to say that you'll all be happy to hear that the ending of 25 years later has ruined my life. I have not stopped thinking about it.
Really?
It has haunted. They just put Sonic in a tube and then vaporized him and said that's the end.
And then they said, well, who knows?
Well, because here's the thing, right? I looked on the wiki because I was like, and no, there's just nothing. And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, Ian. Here's the thing. I would respect it if the point of the ending, because how does Sonic 25 years later end? It ends with Sonic and Knuckles saying that the premise for Mobius 25 years later is shit. It ends with them going, who cares about the future? Live in the moment. And if that was the message, if the whole point of the story was supposed to be, it gets to this ending where Sonic is vaporized, and then at the end they go, who cares about some potential alternate future? We're living in the moment. Like, there's something there. I think it's still kind of shitty to string people along just for that to be the message, but there's some sort of artistic integrity there in that. The problem is, if you're going to do that, you have to commit. You have to commit to that being the message. And I don't think Ken was committing to that. Because Larasu disappears, and then they have that weird fucking quote at the end from the Echidna philosopher. I do not think that was meant to be the message.
It's keeping you up at night, man.
It's, you know what? I hate it.
What did Big Ken do to you?
Don't call him that.
What? He looms over us all with his Sonic stories. Like Big Ben.
All right. Well.
All right. We can't hold off any longer. Let's do it.
Hold off any longer. Sonic the Hedgehog, number 146, The Good, the Bad, and the Unknown, Part 1. So it begins with a cool fight scene. And you know one of the reasons why this is a cool fight scene? Because no one's fucking talking. No one's talking. There's no narration. It's just like 3 straight pages of Sonic and Shadow duking it out in a warehouse. And nothing to interrupt it.
You said 145?
146.
Oh, what about 145? The setup for it.
Did we did 145?
145 is when he fights Locke. Oh yeah, did we already do that? Oh, thank
Ian,
goodness.
Do you remember anything?
No, this is the shit. This is the shit era of the comic. It all blurs together. Oh, thank goodness. We're closer than I thought.
Didn't I, when I DM'd you earlier, didn't I say 146? I said 146.
All I saw was go suffer in silence, Ian Waffles. Fuck you. And I was like, well, I guess I'll get on that.
You did this to yourself.
All right. So they're fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting. And then Sonic runs away. And Shadow, God, what even? I don't want to talk about this, Ian. Okay. So Shadow, he's here because he's looking for the secrets of his past. Does he have amnesia? I guess.
He doesn't actually. Because in that story that came before it, he's like, so in my backstory, as I fondly remember, Maria got shot. I was made by Gerald Robotnik. I then got, launched out into space. I then fought Sonic, and then, I helped fight the Bem or whatever, and that was it. There you go. And it's like, well, what do you need to learn about your past, Shadow?
That's great. That's wonderful. But anyway, so the Freedom Fighters are here too, because there was like seismic disturbances or something, right?
Yeah.
And so then Shadow runs into Gold Gamma. His name's Isaac. I forgot it. I'm only remembering it now because I'm seeing his name here. And so then we get a long diatribe from Shadow about how he got here. We get an admittedly really cool page of him dropping off Angel Island and falling into the earth. I think it doesn't always hit I think probably partly because Shadow was still kind of a new character at the time. But there are a lot of like panels here where Stephen Butler draws Shadow like really well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like how the art looks. I don't think the panel layouts are good, and it gets really like it's hard to follow what's going on, especially with the dialogue. Holy shit! But I think like the actual like in the individual drawings, I think look quite good of all the characters.
Oh yeah. But so anyway, then he's talking to Gold Gamma, and so it's gonna be a reveal. Should we talk? Well, okay, no, we'll wait until the reveal happens. The stupid reveal of who Gold Gamma is. I'm not gonna call him his name. I just want everyone to accept this now. I'm going to call him Gold Gamma because you all have to deal with it. So anyway,
all right, GG.
So then Shadow refers to oh no, okay. Yeah, the narration refers to Shadow as the sentient known as Shadow.
Yes.
So that's a thing.
Because everything has to be overly wordy.
Everything has to be a 10th grader trying to sound smart in their English report.
While also like explaining what we are seeing on the page.
Oh, there's a scene later that I blew a gasket, but we'll get there.
Okay.
And so, yeah, then we get a long flashback to him discovering Gold Gamma and being like, I was made by Professor Gerald. Who made you? And he's like, I don't know. I'm not at liberty to say. And so then Sonic's like, man, Shadow, like, kicked my ass.
Yeah.
And then this is going to be a long series of and then, folks. So just strap in for that. And then Eggman sends Metal Sonic, and that's the end of that first story.
Yeah, so as you can tell, nothing happens.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Like that right there should have been like 3 pages max. You know? And so while it's also a lot of pages, the way every page is described is just talking. And there's no like banter or like back and forth really. It's just characters being like, whoa, we need to go over here now. Whoa, Shadow is over there then. Whoa, now we need to go do this. Whoa, I'm Isaac and I'm this. And it's like, oh my gosh, people, please stop.
Yeah, breakout character Isaac, who I know must have a massive role because I started reading roughly over 10 issues from now, and I've never fucking heard of him. So
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so then we move on to our one of our B stories, which is Tommy the Turtle in Out of Your Shell. So
yeah, what did you think of a day in the life of Tommy Turtle, and do you now understand why people want him to die?
yeah, a little bit. There's a there's a line Rotor goes where he's talking to Tommy, and he goes, "Everyone has something they're really good at." And in my notes I wrote, "Everyone has something they're really good at, like getting blown up." Tommy, you seem especially good at that.
It's true.
It happens to you multiple times over the course of the series. Also, at one point, the lettering on these couple issues is kind of sloppy. Like, there's multiple points, and I couldn't tell if this was meant to be doing something, because when Rotor leaves, his font suddenly turns to a different style, and he's suddenly talking in lowercase. I guess he's talking through a door, so I don't know. I don't care. But anyway,
I mean, it's the most interesting thing we've had to talk about this whole time.
Anyway, so then we find out Tommy's good at organizing things, and so Rotor asks him to come work in his lab, and that's how that ends.
There you go.
So then we get a story that unfortunately we've already kind of talked about on the show, but we'll go into it again, which is the okay. So on the totally legal, legitimate copies of these issues I have, they're somewhat cut off. Is this story called Circuit Me?
Yeah, Circuit Me.
Okay. So
starring Sally and Nicole.
Yeah. Maybe a hot take. I liked this. I actually wish it was longer. I feel like having more stuff of Nicole and Sally's body, like walking around and experiencing stuff, would have been really cool and would have endeared us to her desire to be a person more.
Yep.
We didn't get that. We had to have several pages of fucking Shadow talking to Gold Gamma about shit that didn't matter.
Yeah, no, I actually like this B story. Like, it has like an actual, like, kind of simple heart to it. The dialogue's like pretty decent. Like I love the ending line of like, suffices to say, you know, long story. Anyway, anyone ever tell you you're a very appealing hedgehog?
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. And also you have to take into account that like from Sally's perspective, this is kind of horrifying. Because like there's a line where Rotor goes like, you and Nicole swapped bodies, and Sally goes, you wouldn't be saying that in my shoes. I don't know, it's fun. It's a fun story. The way they switch back is weird. It just kind of wears off, but like whatever. We didn't have enough time. We only could allot 5 pages for this. We needed more of Shadow and Gold Gamma, damn it. But anyway, Sonic 147. The Good, the Bad, and the Unknown Part 2. I gotta say, all the covers are great.
Oh yeah, I love all the covers. They look so cool.
They're really cool.
Even though one of them, or I don't know if it's this round. Let's see here. One of the covers for a Shadow issue at some point is literally just the Shadow the Hedgehog pose from all the game covers. Only he doesn't have the gun.
Yes,
but I don't know if that's one of these.
It's not one of these.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so these all look awesome. So especially the Sonic Battle one.
Yes, that one looks great. But so the Metal Sonic shows up and he looks weird. But whatever.
He's a bit lanky.
He's got big ass shoulder pads. But so then we have the scene that made me just lose my mind, which was so Tails and Tommy walk in on Bunny wrapping a bandage around Sonic's hand. And so, of course, Tails has to go, looks like Bunny's wrapping a bandage around Sonic's hand.
Yeah.
See that? I can see that, Tails. I can fucking see that.
That's just how it all is. Just characters just explaining what's happening on screen.
Like, I know in one of your guys' videos, you said, like, all these drafts were, like, pretty, like, Ken was being, like, incredibly rushed for a lot of this. That feels like a first draft, right? Like, like normally he'd go in and go like, Sonic, what happened to your hand or something? Like, what? Just I
don't know. I feel like at this point, this is just what he writes because, like, look at how much fucking dialogue there is.
Oh my god, there's so much. It's just every page. It's just walls of text. Walls. I can't.
Like, all right, let me read out something that Metal Sonic says when he sees Shadow. He says, let's see, and he's in okay. My sensors register you are 1 bio cybernetic sentient and 1 approximation E100 automation. Identify yourselves or be subject to deactivation. They say something to him. My creator designs and builds only cybernetic constructs such as myself and the E100 style models. Your life signs register much like the bio trash native to this world, as well as having binary pulses similar to mine. You do not compute. For a mechoid, you blah blah blah, and you should hold your tongue when speaking to your spirit. Like, holy crap! Stop! I am not the lesser being, now licking his wounds. Like,
yeah, that. But anyway, so then, my next note is literally so many words. Although I gotta say, I am not the lesser being. I am not the lesser being now licking his wounds. Goes kind of hard. maybe that's me. I don't know. I dug it. But
I mean, I like bio trash. I think that's a funny line. Bio trash is good. But just the problem is, like, in isolation, some things can be cool, but it just doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. Oh yeah, so Shadow and Metal Sonic are fighting. They won't be in a bit for reasons that I don't know. But so for the page where they're like throwing down, I did write like, say what you will about the writing, but boy, can Steven Butler draw Sonic.
Oh yeah, no, I really really like how this looks.
Yeah, and then like the panel where Sonic's like jumping over Shadow and he's like trying to punch him, like that looks really cool too. Like, yeah, whole thing looks great.
Skimming the stories can be really fun.
At one point in my notes, I referred to Isaac as Ligma because I forgot his name.
Ligma. Yeah.
Regardless, the note says, "I'm sorry. What the fuck did Ligma or whatever his name just say? I don't know what I'm referring to there. I could be referring to literally anything." Like, okay. No, I know exactly what I'm referring to. A non-human species capable of intelligent speech? Intriguing. My guy, look at who you're standing right next to. Like, right next to. Like, And we'll find out later the reason he says this is because Gold Gamma is from before the Mobians showed up. But again, you should have said this when Shadow showed up.
True.
I guess is it because he sees Shadow as a robot? Because they're playing with that whole thing of like, I don't care. Anyway,
as Locke said, he is neither sentient, or he's neither like biological, technological, or vegetable.
Sure, man. Whatever you say, Locke. But so then my notes are just that of a man losing his mind because my next note is just all caps. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh yeah, this is the one where Sonic fights Mike Gallagher and Dave Manic.
No, that one's fine. I don't mind that one. I'm trying, but it was something to do with when the three of them are fighting. I don't know. I thought we could finish you off first. Illusions of Grandeur.
I like when Eggman's watching Sonic's ass and he says, "This is delicious."
I didn't even notice that. That's great. But oh yeah, and then they fought. Maybe it was.
Does he know?
Yeah. He. Yep. I think it was for when they. I don't care. Also, is sizzling SWAT bots like Tails' catchphrase or something? He says it multiple times.
Bots.
Has that been a thing?
I have no idea. I think that sounds like something that someone would have said before. So whatever.
Yeah, but so then we get the story about the artist and the writer, Gallagher, and who is the other guy? Dave something.
Manic,
right? And they're like, "Hey, we drew the comic and we wrote the comic, so we can do anything." And then it's fine.
And then what happens?
Then we get Tails and Mutsky and Fox and the Hound. The note I have for this is, "Yep." I mean, do you have anything to say about this, Ian?
I think it's the perfect example of like how aimless this era is. Of just like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? In the main story, we are fighting Shadow and Metal Sonic and Gold Gamma and just chilling out and learning nothing and talking. And then in the B story, we're fighting the two artists of the comic. And then in this, we're playing with a dog.
Yep.
That was 3 stories in 1 issue.
Yeah. And this is how many pages? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 pages. The same amount of page real estate that was given to the start of like Nicole's new character arc is given to Tails playing with a fucking dog.
Yep. Anyway, what happens next?
Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog, number 148. The Good, the Bad, and the Unknown, part 3 of 4.
Yeah.
Sally's chilling at the castle, and this porcupine guy, he's like a character, right?
Yeah, he later becomes like a senator.
Right. And Sally's like, go get Jules, because he's the porcupine's like, we lost contact with Sonic and the team. By the way, there's too many characters on this team. Why is Fiona here? Why is Tommy here? We didn't need the like there's too.
Here's a better question. Why isn't Amy here?
That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question.
Forget game characters over. Like, I don't even talk about that. Tommy Turtle is part of the Brain Trust. He's just like a dude. Why is Amy not here?
Yeah. Yep. But so anyway, then Sonic has a line during the last issue where he goes, "Never tell me the odds," because he's like Han Solo, you see, and it's fun. But regardless, that was the last thing they heard on their communications before they went dark. And so Sally's like, "Go get his dad and his uncle, and they're gonna do some shit." Anyway, so then Sonic's in pain, like I am reading this. And then there's one point where is there a space between the coal and the apps in collapse for this narration box?
Let's see here.
There is, right? There's definitely a space there.
Yeah, there is.
There's a space. This comic
Having experienced the floor collapse from the underneath.
I feel like this comic is just trying to test my patience.
Yeah, trying to be like, are you insane? Maybe.
And then there was one where the autocorrect on Ken's like computer clearly was just fucking him up because the gold gamma keeps referring to Kintobor as Kintobar. And like, I'm not wrong. He's not talking about another character there, right? Like,
no,
I can't imagine.
No, you're right. He fucks up. I didn't know
multiple times.
That's like in one of the space arcs. There's just a whole issue where they just keep saying robotized instead of roboticized, and they just don't correct it.
Sure. You know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is the issue where we get a fucking history lesson too.
Yeah, did you love it?
No.
You didn't like reading green square text boxes over nothing?
No, God, like here's the thing, ostensibly, there's something interesting here of like Robotnik's ancestor was like from before the days of Fury. He was from like human civilization, and he was like the last survivor, and so his lineage was able to carry out. Like that's all. Like there's something interesting there. But I don't need walls upon walls upon walls of text explaining this to me.
Well, and you know what's the worst part? So like, I agree. I think that he's connected to like Eggman is really cool, and it's kind of like this idea of like even back then, an ancestor of Eggman like made the world a worse place, right? It's kind of cool. But then what makes it even funnier is that for the second part, Gold Gamma describes like what happened afterwards, right? And he explains how the Chaos Emeralds were made, which is that like the like radiation like created them or whatever in the Earth's minerals, you know?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. That's not fucking true.
Yeah, no, it's not true.
Because the literal gods of this world sat tails down and told him the Chaos Emeralds came from space.
From space. They fell from the sky.
And they landed on the planet. And that's how Mammoth Mogul got his emerald. Is it landed in his fucking stomach or whatever, his chest. And it made him into like a hyper intelligent super being or whatever. So no, they didn't come from the radiation. So what the fuck is he talking about? But they spend 1, 2, 3 pages explaining this.
Yeah.
And it's just not true.
Yeah, I don't. What were they doing? What is he doing?
By the way, just real quick. So the way Flynn makes this make sense later is that like he has it to where like because you know they have these giant missiles. Spoiler, so at the end of the issue they find like a nuclear missile that's about to launch for some reason. Anyway, so because it's like an old military base. Anyway, so at one point like Finitivis tries to like use these missiles and Rouge is like, well, that's not good, so she like disarms all of them. And so what happens is that they're like, oh, also we found this gold gamma robot, and he was fucking insane.
Yeah.
So they just basically say that like, yeah, he was kind of busted. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
So he's just babbling nonsense here?
Yeah.
So is any of this true?
I think we can assume all the stuff that we already knew is true. But
so, like, yeah, about the aliens and the gene bomb, but like Robotnik's ancestor.
I'll
Like,
count that one. It's in the encyclopedia. The official encyclopedia. Yeah.
Okay, but like the stuff with the Chaos Emeralds, like that's all bullshit. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. That's the way Flynn fixed it. He's fucking bonkers, man. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's just.
I mean, to be fair, he did turn to Shadow and say, "Hey, man, have you ever seen a non-human thing talk before?"
That's very true. Ken was actually setting up for that plot twist.
That's right.
Like, he's actually a genius. I should say, none of what we say here is meant to be a personal attack against Ken Penders. He seems like a. Well, I was about to say he seems like a perfectly fine.
You better watch your tongue there, sir. You'll get murdered.
But okay. He sometimes seems like a perfectly fine. He's been perfectly fine to you, Ian. You've interacted with the man. You've had nothing but pleasant experiences with him. Ian, save me.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: you can't harass Ken Penders anymore because he's not on Twitter. So, oopsies.
Did he leave Twitter?
Yeah, he's now just on his website, so you can, leave him be while he's trying to. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna dunk on Ken Penders real quick. So,
sure.
Forget everything I just.
These issues, you might as well
forget everything I just said about being nice to him. I'm just gonna. So basically, oh my gosh. So you know how it's been like 10 years since fucking he canceled the comic or whatever. Yeah, it's been 10 years. It's 2023. So, and that ended like 2013, 2014, around there. So around a decade. So,
the original continuity did, but yeah.
So eventually he's going to make the Lara Sue Chronicles, right? So he's finally gotten around and he said, guys, it's finally here. And I go, holy shit. Am I finally going to get the Lara Sue Chronicles? Actually, instead what he's doing, because he owns the rights to 25 years later, what he's announcing is that he is going to make a reprint of that story that you can buy so that you will have all the information for the Lara Sue Chronicles. So after 10 years, what he has to show for it is that he's working on getting a reprint of 25 years later that you can buy.
But what about the Sega characters in that? Can you just do that?
So that's what's going to make it amazing, is that he's going to have to erase them and like rework the dialogue. So it's going to look like fucking garbage. Oh. So I am so excited. I pre-ordered it. I legitimately pre-ordered.
Oh, is it? Wait, is this a thing? Can I like?
It's a hardback book. And I'm like, It's going to be the shittiest thing ever. It's going to be amazing.
What's the website? I got to see this.
It's just Ken Penders' website, I think. Just like kenpenders.com or something. But
I got it.
You can buy a hardback copy of whatever the fuck he's going to do with this reprint of 25 years later, where he's going to have to like draw over scenes or he's going to have to like change dialogue. And then you just know it's going to look atrocious. So I can't wait. I got to have it.
When's it come out? Do we know what it?
Well, nah.
So you paid money for this and you don't?
I literally gambled. Like I'm gambling on it actually existing. That's the fun part about this.
I mean, we have to talk about it on the show, right?
Like, if it is like weird, I mean, if somehow he doesn't make it professional, like if he does make it professional, then fuck it. But if it is like a mess as I believe it will be, I'll just like take pictures of it and then send you all the images, so you don't have to pay money.
No, better yet, I look at nothing. We come on the show, you just describe it to me. Although, I won't say when the Lara Sue Chronicles comes out, we have to devote an episode to that.
Absolutely. Everyone needs to do a video on that.
Oh God.
Anyway, back to the shitty comic.
Back to the shit. Okay, God. There's a scene where Gold Gamma is talking about like how he's been here since like the beginning of time. Oh, look at him watching the coronation of the first King Acorn. Other animals capable of speech. I wasn't even.
You're right. Holy shit! You're never gonna let that go, huh?
No. Well, and what's great is that this panel is fucking hilarious because he's just in the background.
There. It's like one of those. It's like, oh, did you see Bigfoot? But he's in high def. They caught you in 4K Gold Gamma.
He's just like, what does he do? He just looks so dummy. Like, but anyway, why is Shadow trying to kill Sonic? Also, because when he catches up to him, he goes, "Give it up, Sonic. Show yourself so we can talk." Talk about what? What? Also,
Shadow's just very moody.
Something I'm not even mad at this. This is just kind of fun. The panel where Shadow lifts up the door, Metal Sonic looks just like a robot Sonic, which you're thinking obviously that's what he is, right? But he's got like a green like person eye, and his like eye itself is white. That's just fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun thing.
Regardless, that's a fun fuck up.
Well, look, man, ever since I was little, I always like appreciated stuff like that. So I don't.
Oh yeah, when you like catch those little details that they screw up, and it's like, oh wow, they didn't. This looks a little different.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I remember one time I was playing the underrated video game Ultimate Spider-Man. And I got a glitch where Spider-Man became Jesus. He was walking on water. And now this was an open world game. And I remember I was like 5 at the time. And I remember I was like, I'm walking on this water. The Statue of Liberty's over there. Now I do not know how much of my childhood I wasted trying to get to the Statue of Liberty in this game. Because I was like, if I just swing a little high, if I just get a little further. No, they didn't program a Statue of Liberty, you little 5-year-old fuck. Like, it's background art. You can't get there. It doesn't exist. But I remember getting this like Jesus walking on water glitch. And I was like, I can finally get to the Statue of Liberty. And so I go and I run and I run and I run. And at some point, the game just like remembered to start working. And I just fell back into the water. And it was like, fuck. Because in that game, water was death. You couldn't swim. So I, again, spent so much time trying to recreate this glitch so I could try and get to the Statue of Liberty again. And like, because I'm like, surely, again, as a kid, when people are making things, they don't fuck up. It's had to be intentional.
They're adults, dude.
Yeah,
they don't mess up.
Yeah, so surely this is intentional. So surely there's some way I can like make this happen again. But no, I never. Anyway, Sonic sucks and I hate him. But
now let's talk about Sonic and Knuckles kissing.
Yeah. Well, first they launch a nuclear missile. Very little of consequence will come from this.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, then so they put on a play and not hold that one line. Okay, there's one fun line at the beginning where this who gives a fuck character is like, how come Robotnik never found this place? And then another who gives a fuck character goes, because then we wouldn't have a story, silly.
True.
That's fine. That's sure, whatever.
Here's the thing, though. So I think this story is like the perfect example of like how far this comic has fallen. Because theoretically, a little fuck off story about like, don't worry about it, guys. Let's just have some fun and do like a silly little play thing where every character is not played by just themselves and instead played by other people. So like Big the Cat plays Dr. Eggman, Tails plays Snively, Rotor has to play Tails for some reason, all these different things. And it's like, oh, that's kind of fun. And then, Knuckles is Sally and like they have to kiss at the end or whatever. And then he's like, oh, clobber you, jerk, Hedgehog. So it's like, oh, that sounds really fun, But because it's just another story in a sea of just garbage happening all around you, you just go numb to it. You're just like, yeah, okay. Yep, it sure is happening. Holy shit. Click right, click right, click right. And that sucks because that should be a fun story.
Yeah. Yep. But so, yeah, I mean, like they put on a play and there's this line where so they cast Rotor as Tails. That's fun, right? But so up top, they have him like dangling from a rope. And up top, Jules, Mighty, and Espio are all holding him. And like, Espio is the only one not complaining, when surely it should be Mighty, right? Does he have super strength yet? That's the thing he has, right? Like,
oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's just that nobody cares in this comic.
No one cares.
No one gives a shit. And we're getting close to the biggest proof of that. So let's move on. Unless you got something else.
Nope. Sonic tries to kiss Knuckles. So there you go, Sonic fans. You got something.
It's canon. So there you go.
And then my first note for the Tails story is, oh fuck.
Tails, Destiny's Child.
Because it starts kind of interesting, right?
Yep.
Because Tails is going, everyone's getting their parents back. I know where my parents are. Why are we not trying to go get them? Why are we not trying to go rescue them?
Yep.
And then the comic goes, fuck all that. We need a floating echidna to show up and start telling Tails he's the chosen one.
Yeah. And Tails is like, oh yeah, I read the Tails miniseries. I'm supposed to, all right, remember this, people. Tails says, I'm supposed to gather all of the Chaos Emeralds, great harmony. That's my destiny. And then also I'm supposed to beat Mammoth Mogul or something, or like I'm supposed to be like the greatest champion. So what, you know? And then he's like, whoa, that's really crazy. What does it mean? What is this gonna? What's this gonna do? And then Aether says, "Fuck you, I'm God," and he leaves.
Oh god, that panel is so fucking funny.
It's so funny. Yeah, where it's just a stupid little chibi head, and then it goes.
Also, this is the first time Tails finds out about Merlin. Which, wait a minute, he was in 25 years later. So did we not know who Merlin was at that point?
I mean, we've seen him before, so, and we know that he was, and we knew that he was Knuckle or Tails' uncle.
But Tails didn't?
No, because Merlin sucks. He just doesn't visit. Okay, so they also talk about Fake Tails. Do you know the story of Fake Tails?
I know what you and Low Art talked about.
Yes. Okay, cool. So you're aware.
I'm somewhat aware. I mean, I know there is a Fake Tails who's around for like a bunch of issues and goes on a bunch of adventures and has a bunch of development with Sonic. Or development might be a strong word, but you know what I mean. And then they just go, fuck that shit. He's fake.
Yeah, he's God. But I just want to bring it up because I love that they're like, yes, he created the doppelganger. And then Tails is like, oh, which disappeared when I was restored back to where I belong. Yeah, Sonic gave me the update. So he's just like, I don't give a shit that like another me died. Fuck that. Just tell me like what's going on, bro. Nobody ever cares about Fake Tails.
I mean, to be fair, it's best not to think about it, right? Like, if you found out there was just, like, another you who was living your life for, like, a few weeks and then died, like, would you want to think about that?
Every day, you know? That sounds pretty cool.
But so, at some point during the story, I just wrote, I hate everything. So, that's a thing. I feel like I've written that note a few times since we started this podcast.
Okay, well, Silver Ace, what did you dislike about this story?
First of all, they keep fucking talking, and none of the words are about things I give a shit about. Like, again, they set up an interesting premise. Tails is upset that his parents are gone and everyone else's parents are here. And then they go, but what if Tails was Jesus? Knuckles is Jesus. Tails is Jesus. Everyone's Jesus. Like, I don't care, and I especially don't care about where this is leading. But we're not quite there yet.
We're almost there. All right, next issue. Let's get the fuck out of the missile silo, please.
All right. Oh, God, please load. I just want to go home. All right. 149. The Good, the Bad, and the Unknown, the final round, part 4-4.
I'd say, personally, I think this is the best part just because actual like character interactions happen. So for one, you have Sonic taking on like 3 people at once, which is pretty fun. And also like he does like a nice little clever thing where he just fucking chucks Metal Sonic into Shadow. And he's like, "Ha, what up, nerd?" And then we get probably one of the greatest Sonic lines of all time. So let me read this to you. All right. A fair question. I sense you are my enemy, but I know not why. And then Sonic says, "Sounds more like a lapse to the synapse in that noggin of yours. Maybe if you tried meditation or maybe found yourself a girl, you might get a handle on all your pent up aggression." So Sonic just told Shadow, "Bro, if you got laid, you'd stop being so grumpy, bro."
He told Shadow to get some bitches.
Yeah, which is the greatest thing I think Sonic has ever said. Also, lapse in the synapse is actually funny. So I actually like a lot of this issue because it's so fucking stupid.
The problem though is that you got to get through the first 3 to get here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then so here's the other thing. So now let's get to the other dumb part where Fiona Fox is like, "Hey, I'm here too. Let's use guns." And Rotor, in his infinite stupidity, is like, "We've never used guns. Fake news. I would never use the gun in my entire life. In fact, I did not create the Big Mama Jama. That was not me. That was fake Rotor, you know, like Fake Tails. When Robotnik came to our house and I literally pull a Glock on him and tried to kill him, that wasn't me. I didn't do that shit. We've never used guns, Fiona." And she's like, "Whoa, that was crazy." So anyway, Rotor's a fucking idiot, and Ken Penders can't remember anything he wrote because he wrote the issues where Rotor uses guns, and now he's like, "We've never used guns. I've never done that."
Yeah, did Rotor have like a character arc or something?
Rotor's whole thing is that he made guns. He was the gun guy.
Well, yeah, but did his parents get shot or something? Like,
No. It's Flynn later gives it a reason, but in the story, no, there's no reason.
I gotta say though, Fiona with a gun's pretty cool. That panel's pretty lit.
Yeah, it is pretty hot. Anyway,
you look, yes, but I wasn't gonna say it.
I know, that's why I said it for you.
I appreciate it.
Here. Now we get the actual really good moment that I like. So we're starting to kind of see a little bit of. So this is like finally we're getting a bit of Shadow's personality, which is that. So this whole time, right, he's been like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Sonic. But then literally, like, once the fighting's over and Sonic's like, well, shit, man, I don't think I'm gonna make it. He's just like, all right, come here. And then he like saves him. And he's like, I'm gonna fight, do my own path. So I do like that Shadow, like from this story, again, the whole time he's been chasing Sonic, trying to beat the shit out of him. And then as soon as he's like, oh, things have calmed down, Sonic's in danger, I'll help him out, So it shows we're actually getting a character thing of like, oh, Shadow actually isn't like as bad as he wants to be. He's just kind of being a fucking asshole. But at the end of the day, if push comes to shove, he will save Sonic. He will make sure he's okay, which is good. And this will be consistent in another Shadow story in this era. So this is just like, finally, Shadow has a character moment.
Yeah. Also, the reason he has that character moment is because Sonic's ankle is hurt.
Yeah.
Is that when he grabs his ankle in this page, or
I think Sonic just got the shit beat out of him, and at some point he's just like, "Ooh, my knee."
Yeah, but regardless, yeah, Shadow chucks Sonic, and
I create my own path to follow.
Yep. Which I at first thought he was being metaphorical, but I think he meant that literally, because he was because Sonic goes like, "How are you going to escape?" And then he says that,
and he's like, "I'm gonna run away." And then the best part. So again, remember, guys, this has been 5 issues. Not only 5 issues of this story, but 5 issues of B stories that either have nothing to do with anything or are just us like fucking around, which is basically the same thing. And so we get to this 5-issue story, because I'm counting the one before it, where they are about to go off on the adventure and Shadow like meets with Locke. So 5 issues. And at the end, they go, wow, I sure don't know what any of that meant, but I hope we do one day. I found a book.
Yep.
So
yeah. Well, and then so apparently Robotnik Senior is like in a tube or something. Like Gold Gamma's just got a man in a tube.
Yeah, and again, Flynn, he just writes this off as like, dude, Gold Gamma was watching a corpse, idiot.
That's pretty fun. Well, that's also unfortunate, because I gotta say, for all the shit I gave this, and as much as I hated this, I was kind of interested to see where the Robotnik Senior thing was gonna go.
I agree. I think that's the one thing that I would have liked Flynn to do something with, but it's just another example of, 1, they weren't gonna do anything with it, and 2, now that Flynn definitely doesn't do anything with it, that one tiny sliver from this arc that could have been cool is gone. So this is like the most useless arc in the entire comic. It is 5 issues of nothing, to where even the lore we learn is a fucking lie.
You gotta love how that makes this last panel so much funnier, of him going, "I await your next orders, doctor."
Yeah, and meanwhile, inside
is like, "Doctor, clank clank, doctor.
Oh, he's sleeping forever.
He's sleeping. Anyway.
Okay, time. I think it's time.
It's time for Stealth the Hedgehog?
Yes.
They killed him.
They killed Stealth the Hedgehog.
They had a Spider Sonic and they fucking killed him.
This is like the coolest part of this whole thing is the scene where a giant hand comes out and it crushes an entire galaxy and universe, and then it's like, yeah, I'm Mammoth Mogul. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's favorite character, Mammoth Mogul.
Now, question. Explain this stupid shitty plot so I can start railing against it.
Okay, so Sonic and Tails are playing hide and seek in the forest. And then Sonic shows up, Sonic the Zone Cop. And I gotta say, so a couple things. First of all, Sonic in this is called Sonic Prime.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the terrible TV show Sonic Prime. But the Sonic we are reading about in this is Sonic Prime as far as the multiverse is concerned.
Hey, Sonic Prime.
Yeah. By the way, I do love this introduction because it's just like so casual. It's like, oh, hey, man, what's up? Like,
yeah. Hi, it's just Sonic, the Zone Cop.
Yeah, well, because I've read all those like Zone Wars stories. Like, I have the like Sonic Selects that they're in. And so I like it that at this point they're just used to this shit. Like Sonic's just like used to having to come and get Sonic to like do multiverse shit.
For sure.
I think it's fun. But so
I mean, I just like Sonic's design too.
Sonic is fun. But so he's like, so shit's going down. We need your help, but not you, Sonic. I'm talking about the little orange thing. We need him. And so he brings them into what is this one called? What is this zone called?
The perpendicular zone.
The perpendicular zone. And they're like, long story short, Mammoth Mogul has been destroying universes. And then they give a little recap on Mogul. Who gives a shit? his origin story. And then this goes for so long, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, they recap everything that's happened with Mammoth Mogul, and then they're like, yeah, he's coming and he's gonna destroy everything, and that's pretty bad. And so then he shows up, and in my note I literally wrote, this escalated quickly. Because they go from being told this is happening to every other universe is destroyed and Mogul's here.
Yes. Which, by the way, so now let me break this down for you. So, all right, Mogul has the power to literally crush dimensions with his hands. And so how is he going to crush the final dimension? Is he just going to do that too? No. He shrinks down and then gets pecked by a bunch of little mosquitoes, basically. And he's like, get off me! Laser blast! It's like, what is happening? Why is he doing this? Is he an idiot?
Yeah. But so, then they're like, don't worry, Tails. We know you're the key to defeating him, which is why we got you from every universe.
Yes.
That's what you all wanted to see, right? You wanted to see...
You wanted to see pregnant Tails.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you didn't notice pregnant Tails?
Is that the one with the rattle?
No.
I thought that was Baby Tails. Okay, where's...
You're
fucking with me, right? This isn't a real thing. You're fucking with me.
Go to the end.
Okay, I'm at the end
of issue 149.
All right, at the end of issue 149.
Now look to the right and look next to the spaceman.
Oh my god. No, that can't.
You sound like you're gonna vomit.
No, that can't. No, that can't.
We already have a Fat Tails. He's in the bottom left, so he can't be Fat Tails.
No,
he's knocked up Tails. He's Teen Mom Tails.
No. Why? What is this? Who let this happen?
Holy shit.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry, man. What the fuck is this? Why?
Are you okay?
Dude, I will never be okay again after this. What the fuck are they doing? That can't. No! Why is this a thing? Oh my god. That. I mean, you're right, because there's nothing. What else could that be? That can't be anything else. That.
Are you gonna? We want to move on.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. Sign that Hedgehog number 150. It's the one where he fucks girls.
Well, let's finish Tails, and we can get to fucking girls. All right.
Please, God, never say that sentence ever again.
The hog possessed me. I'm sorry.
The hog. It's always the hog. Okay. We'll start with that story then.
You were not prepared.
I was not prepared. Anyway, so then a tail Sonic. So say Mogul shows up and fights all the tails. He blows up Sonic.
He does. He kills Sonic.
He kills Sonic, and then all the tails attack him. Wait, switch that order around. All the tails attack him, and then he blows up Sonic. But Sonic is just not dead later. But it's fine.
And then what happens?
Which, by the way, now that I think about it, this story ends with Tails resetting the timeline so everything is back to the way it was before. So they could have just left Sonic dead. Why did they make a point to have Sonic go like, hey, you good man? And have him be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, what?
What do you think happened to me?
Anyway, so then all the Tailses combine and they become Titan Tails. I'm sure you've all seen the memes. It's the Tails, but he's big and muscly. And then Mogul shoots.
And he sucks. So this will break your brain. He then sucks Mogul into his ass.
Oh, no.
Look at it. He's not being blown away. He's being sucked in.
Well, no, he's explicitly pulling in the energy
with Mogul. Look at him.
Yeah, he's going in there.
So, he gets right into the ass. And
God. Anyway,
now, here's something great.
Sure.
I don't know if you noticed anything. Where are the Chaos Emeralds? Weren't we supposed to do something with those?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't Tails explicitly right before this, not like years before this, literally the issue before this, didn't he go, hey, I'm supposed to gather the Chaos Emeralds? He said that.
He did say that.
And here he is. He's like, it's time to fulfill my prophecy, get my butt cheeks. But he doesn't grab the Chaos Emeralds. So here's the thing. Ken Penders wrote a recap issue, and then Romy Chacom, the ghost, we have no clue who this fucking person is. They just didn't read it?
And I guess not.
And there you go. That's why in the Flynn era, when he unifies the Chaos Emeralds for real, Tails literally says, I'm doing my prophecy that I thought I already did.
Yep.
Because the writers couldn't be bothered to read what came before.
Ian.
And now, at the very end, remember, so this is how Mammoth Mogul goes out. He can crush universes. He then comes to another universe, and he's like, pew, 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 lasers, pew. It's like, what are you doing? Just crush him, kill him, use your godlike powers. But no, he's just going pew, pew, pew. And then Tails sucks him into his ass, and then puts him into a Chaos Emerald, and this is how it ends. There sits Mammoth Mogul, former master of the multiverse, imprisoned in the very emerald that lay in his chest for centuries. Finally separated from it, his abilities to absorb chaotic energies are gone. He is completely powerless to do anything about it, except hate the one that beat him, something he plans to do to the end of time. So this was supposed to be the end of Mammoth Mogul.
Yep. So that's the end of Mammoth Mogul. Anything else, or can we get into Evil Sonic Bangs Girls for 2 issues?
That's it. We're almost free, man. You go for it. Tell me what happens in these 2 issues.
So Sonic, right? It's seemingly an average day in Nut Hole. I don't know why I said it like that, but you know what?
Nut Hole.
We're rolling with it. Much like Sonic rolls, we're rolling with it. So Sonic beats a SWAT bot, eats a chili dog, and he's like, "Hey Fiona, you wanna get busy?" Meanwhile, Knack is talking to some guy in Station Square about stealing the Master Emerald, or not even the Master Emerald. They're still calling it just the Chaos Emerald. which is weird because they've definitely called it the Master Emerald. They definitely called it the Master Emerald in Return to Angel Island, right?
Yes. But that was Carl Bowler's, and he pays attention to things like the games.
So anyway, then Rouge is like, I want to go get the Master Emerald, and so then she goes to Angel Island.
I want to drop a continent on the people below. That sounds pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I will say, I think what we'll find as we're talking about Rouge in these is that she kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But so, back with Sonic and Mina, Sonic's like, hey, baby, let's do this. And she's like, oh, fuck, I have a boyfriend, don't I? Ugh, boy. I mean, I'm saying, she doesn't say it like that, but I am. Because who gives a fuck about Ash? But anyway, Ash gets better. Flynn does some cool stuff with Ash. But regardless. And then something happens with Amy. I don't know what. I don't want to think about what. We're moving on. And then Tails catches Sonic making out with Bunny. And now correct me if I'm wrong. Or I guess just tell me, because I don't know. Does Sonic ever tell Tails, like, hey, man, that shit wasn't me? Like...
yes, he does.
Okay.
In issue 160, when like Bark and Bean show up, he's like, oh, maybe they're here after, like, maybe they're actually mad at my, like, evil double. You know, I told the girls what happened, and he's talking to Tails about this. He's like, I got the girls to all understand what happened, which then would mean that Tails knows what happens, because he's, you know, explaining it to him. So
That's good. Yeah, so they're making out, and Tails is like, what are you doing, Sonic? This is stupid. And Sonic's like, how about you go fuck yourself, Tails? And so then he just starts monologuing. Because of course he starts monologuing. Because it's a Ken Penders comic. But so then we find out, by the way, they just casually drop in here the reveal that Antoine is Patch.
Yep.
There's no big reveal.
Yep.
There's no big, like, it was me all along. Evil Sonic in a, like, grainy black and white flashback in a scene where he's, like, looking through a portal, like, upset, is like, oh, man, fuck. It's Patch is doing some cool shit over there. And so
anyway,
like, we're just not gonna act like that's a massive revelation. No, okay, like it acts like we already knew this.
Yeah,
like,
and also,
like
go ahead. No, you go.
It acts like we missed an issue where the big reveal happens. Where like a big last, because it feels like Antoine's been Patch all along. Should be like a big last page reveal, right?
Yeah.
And it's not.
You know, by the way, so there was that story we read where Antoine, or Patch now, for some reason is like, I remember my past self whenever I was dating Normal Bunny and Normal Sonic was there, and so we had a story that confirmed that it has to be Antoine, because why would he have a flashback? Like, why would Patch have a flashback to Antoine himself?
Yeah.
So Ken Penders was just like, fuck it, he's Patch. That makes sense. I don't read other people's scripts, which is true, is what he said. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I will say, based on the interview that you guys gave, he said I didn't have time to read other people's scripts, which at least is a little more defensible.
For sure. And I also agree with him when he says, like, well, that's the editor's job to be like, hey, Ken, you can't write that. This already happened.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's just how shitty this all is.
Yeah. But so then Rouge is on Angel Island and Sonic steps on a landmine.
Yeah, and he dies at the end.
I wish, God, but also, Evil Sonic just calls everyone babe.
That's true.
He calls Antoine babe. He calls himself his good self babe. Like,
he is, man.
Yeah.
He also calls him a simp.
He does. It's so fucking funny.
It's time to get the booty. That's what he says.
He does. I forgot about that. That's great. But so I forgot about this. So after Sonic steps on a landmine, Rouge is trying to put her charms on Knuckles' dad. And then
Yes.
Ant-Man, or whatever his name is, Archimedes, is just like, get this lady the fuck off my island and just teleport her away.
He's like, Locke, you're literally 60 years old. Stop.
But so, and also, this is even funnier. This bit of him scolding Locke is even funnier if you have my approach where you read him as Jiminy Cricket. But so yeah, so she just Rouge just drops in the middle of Knothole, and Evil Sonic's like, "Ooh, hello." Also, Rouge has a new design in this. It looks nice.
Yeah, I think it's more based on her hero's design.
Oh, you know what? You're totally right. But all right, Ian, we're almost there.
We're almost done.
I remember we were blowing through these at the beginning. I was like, "Oh man, are we even gonna make it to an hour?" We're at an hour and 10 minutes in. Oh god. Anyway, Sonic number 151 begins with Sonic. He's dressed as Evil Sonic. He's in the Evil Sonic dimension. He's an anti-Mobius. I also just now, I don't usually read like the recaps because I read the previous fucking issue, but I only just now realized that what it says is the badass duplicates of several familiar figures have stumbled across him, but ass has been like bleeped out.
You're right. I mean, this era did allow the characters to swear, so.
Yeah. But anyway, so then they all beat up Sonic. And I remember even at the time, actually, like, let me look at my notes. I said, like, hey, shouldn't Antoine be like, if that's Antoine, shouldn't Antoine be like stepping in to do something? And I guess they kind of explain later. Because he's like, he's acting like Sonic, but he's not really Sonic. Like, he's trying to fool us. Like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But so then, actually, my note literally says, well, this should be interesting since Patch is Antoine, right? Nope. There's a bit where Sonic says like, oh, or where Rouge is saying, basically recapping what happened last issue, and there's a little thing that says like, check out Sonic number 150, still on sale at all the great comic stores and even some so-so stores. That's fun.
Yeah.
And this was, at this point, I also realized something. So was Evil Tails invited to the big Tails multiversal team up?
Probably not. He's probably dead.
Oh yeah, I guess it was only the surviving Tailses. But wait, so that means that this universe, I don't care.
I don't care.
They didn't care. Why should I care?
You almost tried.
But so, and then we get Evil Sonic saying, "Time to grab the booty."
Time to grab the booty.
But so, and then Evil Sonic and the Sonic, the Sonic, face off. And they're like, and they have a big punch up.
They talk a lot.
They talk so fucking much, dude. They talk so much.
And again,
everyone
anything interesting or enjoyable.
So then, I mean, is there anything Evil Sonic beats the shit out of Sonic, and then, well, what's interesting, right, is at first they have the shoes to distinguish them, but then Sonic takes his shoes off of Evil Sonic, and so they look the same. And so you'd think they do like a "don't shoot me, shoot that one" like kind of bit with them, but they don't. They just cut to Evil Sonic trying to murder Sonic with a rock.
And Locke's like, well, this makes this very easy. And then, and then he just gets him out of there.
Well, also, Evil Sonic's literally going like, man, pretending to be you is super awesome. So I'm going to keep doing it. Sayonara, simp.
Sayonara, simp.
And then he just beats him up. He sends him, he sends him flying up a hole. And then Evil Sonic grabbed a, what is this? This can't be a chunk of the Master Emerald, right? It has to just be like another rock, right?
I think it's just a rock.
It's just a rock. And then he gives it to Rouge. I will say it's interesting. They did like one more story where these two teamed up, but like nothing too crazy, right? Like,
right? Nothing crazy.
I don't know. I guess I could have very easily seen Rouge just basically having the same role Fiona had. But I guess once you move into like her being a gun agent and like her being part of Team Dark, obviously that creates problems. But
although
regardless,
they do set it up in a funny way where basically like so in that story like basically Scourge is like going for the Master Emerald, and then Rouge is like, oh, you know, I'll go get the Master Emerald, and then Scourge is basically just like, ah, shit, Locke didn't catch you, so he just kind of left her there. So he was just expecting her to get caught so he could take the shit, so he doesn't give a shit.
I remember that. And so then Locke drops Sonic off at home in his spaceship. And so, okay, I've heard people say that this story was used to make Amy line up with her game counterpart, is, you know, to be like always chasing after Sonic. But that's not true, because she was into Sonic. Like, literally, they just did the Dear Ally story where she was into Sonic.
Yep.
And they say, at least according to you later on, that Sonic tells all the girls, hey, that wasn't me. So no, this accomplishes nothing for Amy's character, actually.
Yeah. People are silly.
People are silly. But then, hey, Ian, would you believe it?
I mean, also Amy in her first appearance literally says that she wants to get engaged to Sonic. So it's always been a thing that she loves Sonic.
Yeah. So I don't know what people are talking about there. But Ian, would you believe it if I told you we get a good story next?
I would, because I know this one, Stargazing.
It's really good. It's so Nicole leaves her handheld and makes a body for herself. It's not really explained because it's not nanites here.
And it's just like a hologram, they said, but it's like it barely will last. But
she's able to touch her.
It's like a really good hologram.
Sure. It's an energy. It's like a Green Lantern, like hard light construct.
Yeah.
We'll say that. But
oh yeah, she says, are you a hologram? Not quite. A complex simulation. So there you go.
But yeah, and like they look kind of weird here, admittedly. I will say though, the
lighting does a lot of work. It's a really pretty issue.
Oh, absolutely. The scene of Nicole, like the first time we see her, like in the moonlight, and like her dress is flowing, like that looks great.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's cute. Like, I guess Sally Cole existed before the reboot. I could see it. Like, honestly, this is I get what people are coming from with that, but I got way more romantic tension from this than I did anything in reboot.
Romantic tension from two girls laying under the stars, talking about life and just enjoying each other's company. Yeah, no wonder. I
mean, Ian, that's shipping 101. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Like, wow, they actually did a thing, and you thought that was better than what reboot did? Crazy.
Yeah, which was nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Well, that's the shitty thing about reboot is that they set up stargazing where she like makes a body and she's like, oh, I wanted to see the stars. It's like, oh, come with me, and they just don't show it.
Yeah, they set up this exact scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this story's great, and it's
very cute. Like
although Sally goes like Nicole goes, my power's fading, soon I'll be nothing but a computer again, and Sally goes, oh, Nicole, you've always been the only friend that I can talk to. Fucking Rip Bunny, I guess. Like,
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then Nicole disappears and Sally cries.
And Sally's like, wow, I sure am miserable and hate living. Nothing new.
I mean, ouch, but yeah, true.
She literally says, she's like, I realized in that moment that even I was looking up at the stars for the first time. Wow.
Yeah, but then we get something that I wanted to do from the start of this and I just kind of forgot, which is looking at the letters page to see what people were saying at the time.
Yeah.
And we got a couple gems here.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
I understood that reference. Someone asks,
whoa,
you're not getting me this time. You overplayed your hand, Ian. But someone asked, when are you guys going to do Mobius 25 years later again? Like, so no one was satisfied with that conclusion. Like, everyone was like, okay, so that's not the end, right? And then even the editor is like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, the exact answer they give is in the future ... sometime this year. So that's interesting. We'll have to talk about like the behind the scenes of like the changing of the guard once we actually get there.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in like how that worked out, because if they were already planning to do more 25 years later, that clearly wasn't something that Flynn brought to the table. I don't know. This is interesting.
We know that the editor always wanted to kind of go back and wrap that up, because that was one of the things he told Flynn he had to do. So
I see. Well, I can't imagine why.
So it's just probably part of his initiative to like clean things up.
And then someone asks, oh god, I gotta find this. I gotta read it word for word. Where is it? When the Shadow game comes out, will you guys have Shadow carry a handgun in your comic? Probably not.
Probably not. the comic code would not like that.
And that's it, folks. We're did free. It. We made it. Dude, that was painful.
I know, man. I warned you.
That was bad. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Do you understand why people might have really hated the comic at this point in time?
I got a little bit of an impression of why people might have hated the walls of text and the stupid characters and the stupid plot lines. Yeah, I think I got a vague idea of why. Oh. But so anyway,
anything else to say?
Well, I promised people the episode after this one would be a throwback. What do we want to do? We should have talked about that off mic. We didn't. I have a list. We could do Sonic Adventure 2.5.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Okay, well, you didn't let me read any of the rest of the list. Well, okay, if you want. Okay, I was gonna say maybe Robo Robotnik, the issue 75 stuff.
Okay,
but you know what? But Ian, are you gonna say that for every one of these?
Nah, because we did Endgame, so it makes sense to do the next milestone.
Okay, and then the throwback story we do after that will probably, should we do them like in order? Because I have a couple on here. I have like the Sonic Adventure adaptation.
Yeah, sure.
I also have like Mecha Madness on here though.
I would like to do the Sonic Adventure adaptation because I think that would just be really fun to compare and contrast.
Yeah. Well, I think when they do that too, we should also just lump in like issue whatever where they did SA2.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because, I mean, but so what are we doing? Are we doing Robo Robotnik or Sonic Adventure 2.5?
Let's do Robo Robotnik.
Okay, everyone who wants Sonic Adventure 2.5, be mad at Ian. He made this decision, I didn't. But anyway, that's it, folks. Oh god, I
you know, still reeling from pregnant tales.
I'm still reeling from pregnant tales. I can't.
You're like, don't say it.
I can't. Don't. Anyway, let us know in the comments down below.
Yep.
How you felt about.
Yelp.
Shut up, Ian. How you felt about all this stuff. And we will be back next time with Sonic. Okay, wait. What issues are those actually? I guess I don't even really know.
I was gonna say, do we want to just finish up pre-Flynn? Just do it. Just get out of here. Because I'm sorry to say this, but it doesn't get worse, but it doesn't get any better.
Okay. So no throwback episode next episode?
Oh no. I mean, next time we return to this.
Oh, well, I mean, oh god. So you want to do 152 through 159?
Just get it out, rip off the
That's
Band-Aid.
Gonna be like a 3-hour episode, Ian.
No, you're probably right.
I'm absolutely right.
We'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you all for watching.
Yeah, and then next time we'll do like 70. When does the Robo Robotnik arc start? Is it 74 or 75? Or is it 73? I know it's 75 at least in I know 75 is when the reveal happens.
Yeah, it's it's 72 through 75.
Okay. We'll do that. Everyone, that's your homework. Read that before next episode. And until next time, I'm Silver1. You can find me here. You can find me on Twitter at Silver1. And he's Ian Waffles. He's got some Sonic Adventure, Sonic Archie videos he did with Low Art that you can check out. They're really good. He also has a
Thank
YouTube channel, Ian Waffles, where he talks about sometimes Sonic, sometimes Kingdom Hearts, sometimes animes.
Yeah.
And he's on Twitter at Ian Waffles. And yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Holy shit.
That was